If you look at the bottom of certified copy of an entry, what does it say? It says, warning, this is not a form of identification. So if you go and give it over to anybody, it's you that's abetting to the crime. You're aiding and abetting because it's you giving it over in the first place. If they never had it, how did they know it's yours? If you never gave it to them. So you've created the crime in the first place. And that's what I'm saying. Now we stood up and said, right, I'm not using the certified copy of an entry no more because I don't need to go into United Kingdom Limited. I now have the limited company which stands in England and Wales. Do you see?
Yeah.
This is the trickery it's being played on us. But it's kind of like just trying to unravel it and saying, right, let's just stand in a protective position first and unravel things. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just standing in my protective bubble and I'm just unraveling things. Looking at the language. Okay, how can you write my name in capital letters? Please explain the acronym if you understand what an acronym is, because within the whole entire English language, a word with what's written in capitals can only be seen as an acronym. If it's written as a word, like bog off, AWOL, PIN, do you see? If it's written as an initialism like BBC, it doesn't say a word. But your name John or Adam or Carl or Susan or whoever, that can be seen as a word, English word. But if you're seeing it as English, it can only be an acronym within the whole entire English language. So please explain the acronym. What is each individual initial letter the word of? Like AWOL, absent without leave. Absent, A for absent. With, W for with. You see, so we're taking the AWOL and we're creating a new word. That's the acronym. If they're using your name in capital letters, CARL for Carl, what is the acronym? The C has to stand for something, the A has to stand for something. So I made up my own acronym, Can't Access Rotten Language. You see, so this is the game they're playing with us. So, and that's why they took out English grammar and Latin out the schools in 1963, because they didn't want us to have knowledge of language grammar. You know, King Sigismund tried to change the language, and the people in the court said, no, you can't change the grammarians. Once grammar is set, you can't change the grammarians. There's only two languages we've got to use with the capital letter word. One of them's English, which I've just explained, and that's an acronym. The other one is sign language, because there's no lowercase letters in sign language. There's only capital letters in their alphabet. They're the only two languages in the history of language we have to use with capital letter words. If anybody tells you legalese, okay, but legalese uses the English language, or it uses sign language, or it uses ancient Latin, but ancient Latin's been gone for 200 years. Do you see? So it's either English or sign language they're using. If they're using sign language, there has to be hyphens between the words to join the words together to make a sentence. This is what David Wynne Miller does, but he never told anybody he was using sign language to write his technique, because he's got the syntax grammar technique. You see, but he never told anyone that he was writing sign language and using the language of sign to write his documents. Whereas what are the legal people using? Are they using sign language that's debased because they removed the hyphen, or are they using English acronyms? Which language are they using first of all? If they debase the language of sign and remove the hyphens, it can only be acronyms of English. And if they can't tell you what the acronym is, and the acronym has to be universally known, that means you're illiterate. So us reading our name in capital letters deems us as illiterate because we're interacting with it. The reason we're interacting with it is because we attach ourselves to it. We have to detach ourselves away from our name. That's the trick. So if I detach myself away from my name and now I own the name, I don't have a name. I own the name. I have three captures of the name. I own the limited company name. I own the limited company then owns the trademark name. And then I went to Royal Courts of Justice to get my name written in English. I don't have a name. I own the documents that have that name on it. That's it. I detach myself away from the name. So if anybody wants to come and see me, they're coming to see a no-named body. Do you see? Because everything's done in a legal context, in their system and in their way. So we have to have the correct paperwork to function. If we don't have the correct paper, it's like an evil spirit coming onto the earth and they don't know who this evil spirit is. This evil spirit has to identify itself in a lawful way that's under God or whatever. And these are the lawful documents and legal documents that they're using to mess about with us. The evil are using legal and the ecclesiastical are using law. That's why they don't want us to have lawful documents. That's why you have to go to the Royal Courts of Justice, Queen's Bench Division, to go and get your depot, because it comes from the Royal Courts. It's law. Sorry, I know it's a bit of a long one, but